Hey y'all, and welcome to The Jump Off. I'm gonna try and keep this quick because I just came back from a workout and I am tired. Y'all know I work out with Emily, that's my trainer, shout out to her. I had a realization during today's extremely hard workout. So today I want to talk about perception. So when we're working out, your trainer or somebody might tell you, you have 10 of these. I started to think about how people count those 10. Some people, they'll count, 1, 2, 3, going up. But some people will count going backwards. They'll be like 10, 9, 8. So my trainer, she'll say, you have 15 of this move. So when I get to 10, she'll be like, oh, you have 5 more. Now in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have 5 more. I don't know if I can make it. But what if we flipped it and thought about it like, oh, I've done 10. Now I've done 11. Oh, I've done 12. Instead of looking at what's left, you look at what you've already done. That kind of like glass half full, half empty kind of thing. But then I was thinking about it as far as life. So I heard this comedian, D-Ray Davis, hilarious. He said, there are no bad days. There's just bad moments in a day. And so I was kind of like, I see what you're saying, but what if, I don't know, you lost your job and you lost your friends and it was just a lot going on that day, a lot of bad moments in the day. Wouldn't that be a bad day? But then it kind of hit me. You could have a bad day, but let's say 2 hours later, you get the call of a lifetime that changes your life for the better. When you think back on that day, you're not going to think back at it, oh, that was a bad day. You're going to think about, oh, that was the best day of my life because I got the call that I won the lottery or something like that. So it's really just things are individual moments of the day. And when I started to look at my day as, oh, if something bad happened to me in the day or something that I didn't care for, or it was a situation that didn't go how I thought it would and the outcome wasn't the best, I stopped looking at it like, oh, this is going to ruin my whole entire day, but more so looked at it as, this is a moment in this day. This moment isn't the best, isn't my favorite of the day, but later on the day could get way better. I'm sure we've all had days where it started out kind of really bad. Then as the day kind of progressed, you maybe hung out with friends or got your favorite food or whatever happened. And by the end of the day, you feel a little bit better. You might not be at 100%, but you're feeling better than what you did after whatever situation happened to you in the beginning of the day. So it just made me really lock into the fact that how we look at things determines how we move and how our future moves with us, if that makes sense. So I was reading a book a few years ago, and one of the lines in there said that meditation is just focused thinking. And it was a spiritual book, so it said, prayer is a form of meditation. It went on to say that worrying is a form of meditation because your thoughts are so locked into the concern and maybe the fear of whatever you're thinking about. You're focused on that. Your thoughts are being driven in that direction. And so you're essentially meditating. And I was like, but it makes sense because when I worry about, oh, where am I going to get money to pay rent? Or is this person going to like me? All of my thoughts are geared around that. So as we focus on something, the more it grows, the more it builds. So then this little thought of worry and concern grows to be this giant, fearful cloud of darkness over you. And it's like nobody grew that one thought except for you. And if we continue to fuel it and continue to think about it, it grows and grows. It's like a fire. It gets bigger and bigger. All of that is centered around one thing that I'm focused on. So as I started to really settle with that thought, every time I started to worry, I was like, wow, I could be using this to focus on something else a little more positive about it. Now, I am not the most positive person that you probably have ever come across. Probably not even in the top 50%. But what I have seen in myself is that when I separate myself, Janice, from whatever is going on, whatever the situation is, and not necessarily label it as this is good or this is bad, but just look at the situation for what it is, I detach myself from all these emotions of worry, anxiety, fear, stress. It helps me process things a little bit better and learn the lesson or see a lesson in something. Like, hey, I am nervous about meeting these people, but I am meeting new people. I am creating new experiences and new memories and possibly making lifelong friends, possibly finding love, possibly finding a new family family to be a part of. It's a big difference. And it's hard. It's hard to kind of think like that. Because I'm like, yeah, who has time? But sometimes, you know, that first thought is just like, sometimes I don't have the energy to be like, hey, no, let's be. But the more you work on it, it's like a muscle. The more you flex it, the more you work on it, the better it gets. But really, our perception about things really drives how we move. If we see something that terrifies us, we're not going to go around it. So then we are going to alter our route, alter what we do, and we are going to avoid that experience. So then we get to have a different experience of something else. Or we see that, we like it, and we go with that experience. So I have this calendar. In a couple of days, they've mentioned about where we place our focus. So I wanted to read some of those to you all because it helps me kind of be like, oh yeah, you know what, that is true. Because we do get caught up in, there's so much going on, and we wake up and it's like go, 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 go. Even if we have the day off and we're just lounging around the house, it's still like, oh, okay, I have to rest. I have to do this. You're trying to catch up on things, and we're not truly in a state of rest. But here, let me read these to you. In every single moment, you have a choice as to where you place your focus and how you act. And the key to firing up this almighty power of choice is awareness. Sometimes I think we are so clouded with, like I said, everything that's going on, that we don't really stop to take assessment and be aware of where we are mentally, even physically, emotionally, of what's going on with us. I challenge all of us to take some time and each day, maybe before we go to sleep, or maybe right when we wake up, to sit or stand, or even in the car going to work, to just take a moment to assess and be like, okay, how do I feel emotionally? How do I feel physically? How do I feel mentally? And just boop, 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 those can be really quick things. So then throughout the day, we can know, oh, you know what, mentally, I'm not in a great space. So the things that I'm thinking about, the things that I'm putting in front of myself to think about, maybe I want to make sure that those are brighter things or happier things. Or maybe I need to find a moment to, stretch because my body's not feeling too well. And if my body's not feeling well, then my mind's not feeling well. Boom. You see how that goes? The next one is, in every single moment, there is an infinite number of ideas, sights, sounds, smells, opinions, and opportunities swirling around us. And what we choose to focus our attention on and how we choose to think and speak about it is based on the reality we're participating in at the moment. That one took me out, because if I am scared in a haunted maze, the sights, sounds, and ideas that are going to be flooded to me, and my thoughts are not going to be the best because of the reality that I'm in at that moment. I'm not going to have the most positive thoughts. I'm not going to be the most chipper person because I'm in a haunted maze, and I get scared very easily. So I'm going to be very short with people. I'm going to be on edge, and it's not going to be the best me that it can be. Now, do I readily put myself in maze, haunted mansion opportunities? No. I know to avoid that because that's not going to bring out the best Janice. We do have to also be aware of ourselves, but aware of ourselves in our environment. If I'm at a job that makes me on edge because I feel like I'm being micromanaged, I'm not going to be the best me either because I'm always going to be uptight. Somebody's going to be breathing down my back. So those are things that we all just have to be aware of. And it goes back to, you have two things every day. You have a choice and a chance. It's a choice to take a chance to change, or you have a choice to take a chance to stay the same. And it's the pain of the same or the pain of growing. Counting those reps really got me to say, am I going to continue to count as though I'm like, dreadful, like, I have 3 left. Or even it could be like, oh, wow, I only have 3 left. Versus, wow, I've already done 10 of these. I'm that strong that I've already done 10 and I can continue to do more. It might only be 1 more, but I've already done 10, which is amazing as is. So what I've done so far versus what I have left, that kind of perception change just kind of helped me. And I was like, you know what, this might help y'all too. I don't know, maybe not. We're on the right path. Anyway, so I will see you all next week back on the Jump Off. We are kind of coming up on the end of the show. I'm not just gonna go out and not say nothing. We gonna go out the right way. But I'll see y'all back here next week on the Jump Off.